This video is about Ultimate 64 SID settings, new ones. And when we go to menu and enter the settings menu, we can see there are lots of new settings concerning SID. Here we can choose which kind of SID we have in the socket. This means the physical sockets inside the computer. Currently I just have 8580 on socket 1, socket 2 is empty. And this settings defines if I'm letting Ultimate 64 SID player auto-config these settings. We start with disabled, and I will show later what it can do. And the same goes for UltiSID, which is the implemented one. When you don't have a real SID chip in the Ultimate 64, you use UltiSID. And then we can define address, where the SID socket address are, and this is mostly for the multi-SID tunes, where some tunes use more than one SID chip. So you can define them manually or with this auto-config thing. It can be done automatically. Then there's this paddle override, which means that if you want to use paddles, usually you keep this enabled. But for example, if you have a FPGA SID installed in Ultimate 64, you need to turn this disabled when you configure it. And later, if you want to use the paddles, you have to change it back to enabled state. Then there's external stereo SID address line, and there's two settings, address line 5 or address line 8, and that will connect in the pin inside the case. Then we define where these UltiSID chips are in memory area, and currently I have all the real chips and these implemented ones in the same address space, so I can play, when I play something, all those chips are playing simultaneously. Then we can define filters, how are they reacting, and there's some settings you can see what you can choose. For the UltiSID 1, I have configured a 6581, and these settings, what you can see here, is something I have chosen, which resembles my real chips more closely. And same for the UltiSID number 2, which I have configured as 8580. And there's a filter resonance setting, and I have noticed that this should be, for the 6581, this should be low, and for the 8580, this should be high. I think so, by ear. And then you can choose how those combined waveforms have been handled inside, which way, old way or the new way. And these settings are for the analog video settings. Not very interesting what comes into SID things. And then there comes the volume mixer thing, and there are a lot of settings here, as you can see. So you can define the loudness of the UltiSID 1 and 2. UltiSID 1 I have defined as off because I'm not using it now. And there for every socket, sampler, drives, tape reading, tape writing, what kind of sounds they make. I don't like that they make sounds, so I have defined it quite silent. And then you can choose if UltiSID 1 comes left or right, or you can even choose it in the middle. It then comes from the both channels. But in this demonstrations I have configured this socket 1, which has 8580, is on the left channel, and UltiSID 2, which is also 8580, is on the right channel. So we can compare how it sounds when there's real chip playing on the left channel and this UltiSID is playing on the right channel. Also, drive sounds, are they left or right? And for some reason I have chosen to make them like this, and this is it. And now let's play something, and I try to explain these settings in more detail. So and currently you can hear on the left channel 8580 real one, and on the right channel Untitled number 2 is playing as 8580. And you might hear that when the sound is panning on left or right, you know that which chip is more loud on this one. But what you might want to listen to is the differences, how the sound sounds like. It's not easy, but if you hear something weird, then you know that something is not right. This might not be the best tune for actually demonstrating the differences on the filter resonances. You probably do not hear any difference. Also going through these different filter curves. Doesn't necessarily make much of a difference with this tune. So let's change some other tune. Maybe some more speedy one. Too fast. Grandma was a truckload. Nice name for the tune. And now let's change those filter settings. And you can hear that the sound is more panning to the left for the real chip. And I will change it back to high. And now the basses are more on the center. That means that those both chips are playing now more like ones each other. Also changing the filter curve, I think, makes the sound more different now. Actually a lot of different. Maybe it's better that I strip down the real chip. So we find the volume for the socket 1, changes to off, and then we pan the Untitled 2 in the middle. And now there's just this Untitled playing, and real chip is silent. And now if we change these filter curves, we can hear that this sounds really weird. Now it starts to sound more like real one. Actually I can't hear much of a difference between this low and high setting. I don't know. Is there a mistake that they are saying, or is there an actual difference? I don't know. And if you adjust the filter resonance to the low, it will make the sound a little bit more silent. So in short, for the 8580 it should be high, and for the 6581 it should be low. And these combined waveforms doesn't actually change a lot, because there are only some limited number of those which work anyway, so, and not all the composers uses those, so it matters, but it's not so clear how much. Actually this is almost all I have to say about this. Let's activate the real chip again. And let's pan this Untitled to the right again. And let's change the tune. So from the last X party there was interesting tune from Hein. Play this one. Unoptimal mixed. like this tune a lot, so let's play it. So on the left channel, real 8580, on the right channel, the UltiSID. For my ears, the sound is quite similar on both chips. This UltiSID is not complete yet, there are still some bugs. And I have also found some things which doesn't just sound correct. But I will not demonstrate them now, because it's not finished yet, so it would be unfair. So it's better to concentrate on what's working and not on that what is not working yet. Personally, I'm quite impressed about how this UltiSID sounds, and I'm quite serious when I say that you don't necessarily need to have a real chip on Ultimate 64. You can get along without real chips very well. But then again, if you are a SID nerd like me, you definitely need to have real chips. But it's a nice bonus that you can play multi-SID tunes quite easily. And let's go back to that. Earlier I was talking about this automatic config thing, and I promised to show what it means, so let's enable it. And let's actually configure this way that we have 2 8580s on UltiSIDs. Let's enable them. UltiSID 1 in the middle, UltiSID 2 on the right, and real 8580 on the left. I now play a 3-SID tune from HBSC. Oops. Yeah, there was a 3-SID tune. And now when I enable this auto config, it changes those SID settings automatically, so when you listen to multi-SID tunes, you just have to choose the tune and it starts to play automatically configured. You don't have to change those addresses and such by yourself. So now left channel is real 8580, in the middle UltiSID, and right channel is UltiSID. So you can really listen to 3-SID tune with only one real chip. And this is nice. Maybe even more multi-SID tunes comes out later in the future. I don't know. It would be nice if there would be more. And this also goes 2-SID tunes. If I remember correctly, Antti had something with 2-SIDs too. If I only could remember the names. There, onward drive, right. And now it automatically configured something. I don't know which chip, so let's wait. Actually, I don't have an idea if you have a left and right chip, or left and middle chip, or whatever. because the sound is so similar on both of those. I think this is panning to the left, so I have a strong feeling that we have a real 8580 on the left channel and Ultisit on the right channel. And because this is automatically configured, you can see it here, which is okay too. You see the configuration on the screen. Actually, I don't know what I have been talking about because I think the sound comes from the middle. Whatever. Makes more sense that the Ultisit 1 will come chosen first. So in this case the SID 2 is the Ultisit 1 which is mixed in the middle. Makes a lot of more sense. Actually when I think about this I should mix these both channels in the middle. Let's see how it sounds like that. Disable this Ultisit 2. Nothing happens. Yes, so material was right, that it chooses them first the real one, then Ultisit and then Ultisit 2. Yes. But that was it. I don't have anything more to say about these settings. If you have questions, just ask. Nice example how Udacity is bugging. Bandpass doesn't seem to work very well. Okay, that's all. Goodbye.